Hollywood icon Val Kilmer shock cause of death revealed. Val Kilmer, the legendary star of Batman and Top Gun, has passed away at the age of 66, leaving a deep void in the hearts of fans around the world. His final appearance on screen was in Top Gun: Maverick 2023 alongside Tom Cruise. Though it was just a brief scene, the emotional moment shared between the two longtime friends touched millions of hearts. It was also the last time audiences saw Val Kilmer on set, quiet yet full of presence. Now the world has not only lost a talented actor, but also an irreplaceable icon of cinema. Please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss any new videos. Val Kilmer was born on December 31st, 1959, in Los Angeles, California, the middle of three brothers. His early life was shaped by a mix of cultures. His mother, Gladys, came from Swedish roots, while his father, Eugene, carried Irish, German, and Cherokee heritage. When Val was just 8, his parents divorced, and 2 years later, his mother remarried. His grandfather had once mined for gold in the rugged lands of New Mexico near the Arizona border, a family story that added a touch of frontier grit to his legacy. Raised in the Christian Science faith, Val held on to those spiritual beliefs throughout much of his life. But behind the scenes of his early Hollywood dreams, there was also deep personal loss. In 1977, Val's younger brother Wesley tragically passed away at just 16 years old after suffering an epileptic seizure in a jacuzzi. That loss would leave a quiet scar on Val's heart, one he rarely spoke about but never forgot. His first screen role outside of commercials came in the educational drama One Too Many, an ABC after-school special focused on the dangers of drinking and driving. Though it didn't air until 1985, it marked his early collaboration with Michelle Pfeiffer, who also inspired some of the poetry in his rare self-published book, My Eden's After Burns. Today, that collection is a collector's item, with used copies fetching hundreds of dollars. Kilmer's breakout came with Top Secret, a zany spy spoof where he not only acted but sang every song as rock star Nick Rivers. He even released an album in character. After the film's success, he took time off to backpack through Europe, returning refreshed and landing a starring role in the 1985 cult comedy Real Genius. He famously passed on a role in Blue Velvet, but scored big as Iceman in Top Gun, the 1986 blockbuster that catapulted him to stardom alongside Tom Cruise. With over $344 million at the box office, Top Gun made Kilmer a household name. He followed it up with a mix of TV movies and a memorable role as the roguish Mad Martigan in Willow, where he met future wife Joanne Whalley. If Top Gun was the film that made you a Val Kilmer fan, drop #1 emoji in the comments. By the late 80s, Kilmer had proven his range, playing Hamlet with the Colorado Shakespeare Festival, starring in noir thriller Kill Me Again, and taking on the legendary outlaw in TNT's Billy the Kid. It was clear Kilmer was not just a movie star, he was an actor through and through. Kilmer's career surged in the early 90s. He starred in Thunderheart, The Real McCoy, and popped up as a ghostly Elvis in True Romance, directed by Tony Scott and written by Quentin Tarantino. But it was Tombstone in 1993 that gave Kilmer one of his most iconic roles, Doc Holliday. Though he didn't know how to play the piano, he trained for months just to perform one Chopin nocturne convincingly. His performance was electric and unforgettable. In 1995, Kilmer took on another challenge, Wings of Courage, a groundbreaking 3D IMAX film. That same year, he held his own opposite-acting heavyweights Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in Heat, now hailed as one of the greatest crime dramas of the decade. Kilmer's work in Tombstone caught the attention of Batman Forever director Joel Schumacher, who was impressed by his presence and intensity. When Michael Keaton stepped away from the role, Kilmer was cast as the new Caped Crusader without ever reading the script or knowing who the director was. Released in June 1995, Batman Forever became a massive box office success, even if critics were split on Kilmer's portrayal. Some felt he lacked Keaton's depth, while others, including Roger Ebert and even Batman's co-creator Bob Kane, praised his take on the character. Unlike the darker, more withdrawn Bruce Wayne of earlier films, Kilmer's version was charming, heroic, and more faithful to the comic book version, a polished public figure rather than a haunted recluse. By early 1996, Kilmer chose not to return for the next installment. He felt Batman was becoming just a side character while the villains stole the spotlight. He also had scheduling conflicts with The Saint, and behind the scenes, tensions with Schumacher added to the decision. George Clooney eventually took over the cape and cowl for Batman and Robin. In 1997, Kilmer stepped into the shoes of master thief Simon Templar in The Saint, a stylish action thriller that let him loosen up and have a bit more fun on screen. He relished the chance to play multiple disguises, a quirky scientist, an eccentric artist, even a Russian mobster. Kilmer even contributed original poetry to the film. His efforts paid off. The Saint was a box office hit, pulling in over $169 million worldwide and earning Kilmer a $6 million paycheck. He followed it up in 1998 by lending his voice to the role of Moses in The Prince of Egypt, bringing surprising depth to the animated epic. Then in 1999, he starred in the indie drama Joe the King and took on one of his most emotionally demanding parts in At First Sight, playing a blind man rediscovering the world. Kilmer later said it was the hardest role he'd ever tackled. Val Kilmer's career in the early 2000s was a mix of bold risks, challenging roles, and unexpected turns. He kicked off the decade with Red Planet, a high-budget sci-fi adventure that unfortunately tanked at the box office. Still, he kept moving forward. That same year, he had a small but memorable role in the critically acclaimed biopic Pollock, and made his debut as host on Saturday Night Live, showing off his lighter comedic side. In 2002, Kilmer took on the gritty lead in The Salton Sea, a dark, stylish thriller that earned solid reviews, though it only saw limited release. He also reunited with True Romance co-star Christian Slater for the action flick Hard Cash, a low-budget crime film that flew under the radar. By 2003, Kilmer dove into the role of real-life adult film icon John Holmes in the thriller Wonderland, starring alongside Kate Bosworth. He then joined forces again with director Ron Howard in The Missing, a Western thriller filled with tension and heart. In 2004, Kilmer delivered one of his most intense performances in Spartan, playing a stoic government operative racing to rescue the president's daughter. He even underwent specialized military training for the role. That year, he also appeared in Stateside, re-teamed with Slater for Mindhunters, and took a swing at historical epic with Oliver Stone's Alexander, though the film struggled with critics. Still, Kilmer didn't stay boxed into Hollywood. That same year, he returned to the stage to portray Moses in The Ten Commandments, the musical, staged at the Kodak Theater in Los Angeles. Sharing the spotlight with a young Adam Lambert, Kilmer brought his animated Prince of Egypt character to life in a whole new way. He also made a hilarious guest appearance on Entourage, playing a philosophical weed-growing Sherpa with a taste for spiritual banter and top-shelf cannabis, proof that Kilmer wasn't afraid to laugh at himself. In the mid-2000s, Val Kilmer proved once again that he was one of Hollywood's boldest and most versatile actors. He was briefly attached to play Joseph Smith in Prophet, a film that never materialized. That same year, he wowed London theatregoers in The Postman Always Rings Twice, and delivered a standout film performance in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang as sharp-witted P.I. Gay Perry, earning critical praise and an award for Overlooked Film of the Year. In 2006, he reunited with director Tony Scott for Deja Vu, starring alongside Denzel Washington in a box office hit. That year, Bowling for Soup released the quirky track Val Kilmer, later used in a Ford commercial aired during American Idol. In 2010, Val Kilmer took on a haunting role in The Traveller, playing a vengeful ghost. That same year, he fulfilled a long-time dream by teaming up with friend Francis Ford Coppola for the surreal mystery Twixt, shot on Coppola's Napa estate. In 2012, Kilmer earned a Grammy nomination for Best Spoken Word and starred in The Fourth Dimension, a strange and hilarious short film where he played a washed-up actor turned self-help guru, a parody of himself that he thoroughly enjoyed. Citizen Twain later became Cinema Twain, Kilmer's directorial debut, a 90-minute film exploring the complicated bond between Christian Science founder Mary Baker Eddy and her critic Mark Twain, set in the Gilded Age. In 2013, he reunited with Top Gun co-star Anthony Edwards in Disney's Planes, voicing Bravo, while Edwards voiced Echo. He also made a brief appearance in the Psych series finale as the elusive Detective Dobson. By 2017, he was back on the big screen in Terrence Malick's Song to Song, acting alongside Rooney Mara and Ryan Gosling, and later appeared in the crime thriller The Snowman with Michael Fassbender. In 2020, he had a special on-screen moment with his daughter, Mercedes Kilmer, co-starring in the indie crime film Pay Dirt. Then came a full-circle moment. Kilmer reprised his legendary role as Tom "Iceman" Kazansky in Top Gun: Maverick, 2022, a film that brought emotional depth and nostalgia to longtime fans. A year earlier, the documentary Val offered an intimate look into his life, career, and battle with throat cancer. Premiering at the Cannes Film Festival, the film was widely praised for its honesty and heart, winning 2 Critics' Choice Documentary Awards and reminding the world just how deeply Kilmer's voice, both literal and artistic, still resonates. Please comment legend if Val Kilmer will always have a place in your heart. In his personal life, Val Kilmer was married to actress Joanne Whalley from 1988 to 1996. The couple had 2 children together, a daughter, Mercedes Kilmer, born in 1991, and a son, Jack Kilmer, born in 1995. For more than a decade, the veteran actor stepped away from the Hollywood spotlight. In a 2012 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he shared that he had other interests and wanted to devote more time to his children. "I have no regrets," he said. "There's a saying that rings true. Once you're a star, you're always a star. It's just a matter of what level." In 2014, Val Kilmer was forced to cancel a performance of Citizen Twain after suddenly losing his voice. He had noticed a lump in his throat, but didn't seek immediate medical attention until the symptoms worsened and he began coughing up blood. By January 2015, he was hospitalized at UCLA's intensive care unit, where concerns about a possible tumor made headlines. Though Kilmer initially downplayed the situation, insisting he hadn't undergone surgery or had a tumor, it became clear something serious was unfolding. For years, he denied the growing rumors about a cancer diagnosis. But in April 2017, he finally shared that he had experienced a healing of cancer. Later that year, The Hollywood Reporter confirmed the truth. Kilmer had endured a grueling 2-year battle with throat cancer. After undergoing a tracheotomy, his once commanding voice was reduced to a faint rasp, and even breathing had become a challenge. To speak, he had to use an electric voice box connected to his trachea. At first, Kilmer had hesitated to seek medical treatment due to his Christian Science beliefs. But when the disease progressed, he underwent chemotherapy and 2 tracheotomies. By 2020, he reported being cancer-free for 4 years, though he still faced complications, including reliance on a feeding tube. In 2021, Kilmer took a bold step toward reclaiming his voice. Teaming up with London-based software company Sonantic, he helped develop an AI-generated vocal model based on archived recordings of his voice. More than 40 models were tested to recreate his distinctive tone for potential use in future projects. For Top Gun: Maverick in 2022, however, director Joseph Kosinski clarified that Kilmer's real voice, digitally enhanced for clarity, was used in the film, not the AI model. Despite all he's been through, Kilmer's presence and voice, however altered, remain unmistakably his. Comment, respect, if you admire Val Kilmer's strength and resilience in battling cancer. On April 1, 2025, Val Kilmer passed away at his home in Los Angeles due to pneumonia. He was 65 years old. The news of his death sent a wave of emotion through Hollywood, where his talent, intensity, and resilience had long been admired. Director Michael Mann, who worked with Kilmer on Heat, reflected on his brilliance. "While working with Val, I was always in awe of his range, the way he could shift so fluidly within a role. After all his years battling illness and holding on to his spirit, this is deeply heartbreaking." Francis Ford Coppola, a lifelong friend and collaborator, added, "He was a joy to know and a wonderful person to work with. I'll always remember him." Tributes poured in from across the entertainment world. Icons and colleagues: Ron Howard, Josh Brolin, Nicolas Cage, Cher, Michael Douglas, James Woods, Jennifer Connelly, Matthew Modine, Michelle Monaghan, Ben Stiller, Danny Ramirez, David Thewlis, Jim Carrey, Danny Trejo, and Richard Roper all shared heartfelt words in his memory. Val Kilmer wasn't just a star, he was a force, and his legacy will continue to shine through the unforgettable characters he brought to life and the courage he showed off-screen. Thank you for watching our channel. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. See you next time, and have a great day.